I think the Yankees will have a bat by the end of spring training is my suspicion. They're looking. Um, Starting pitching is hard to find. Here's a problem for the whole sport, and the Yankees are at the front of the list for having this problem because they need starting pitching. The teams that are bad because they have very little to trade. Colorado Rockies suck. Nobody, it isn't like if I said, take the player you want off the Colorado Rockies. It isn't like, could Herman Marquez potentially help the Yankees? Maybe, but you wouldn't feel that much better if he showed up tomorrow,
Ryan
right? Like,
McMahon, I feel better about Ryan McMahon.
yeah, he's not as good a player as you think. Uh, so there's that, and it's also left-handed. That isn't what they need right now. They need a right-handed bat. But so there's that. So the Rockies, the White Sox traded Crochet. They traded Eric Fetty at the deadline last year.
Mhm.
They're not really sitting with that. The Marlins have Alcantara, and the question will be like he missed all of last year with Tommy John. Does he have to pitch a month or two to kind of like remind everyone, yeah, you got to give the farm if you want this guy? Because not only is he good, if he's good, he's on a great team-friendly contract for this year and two more after it. So trust me, the Orioles are going to have more, and the Red Sox are going to have more prospects to trade than the Yankees if that actually becomes available at some point. I will name a team that the Yankees have been associated a lot with in spring training. And again, I know this will do nothing if I tell my aggregate asshole friends not to do anything
Mhm.
because I've not heard anything. I've not heard anything. But if you looked at the Cardinals and said, who's a team that has a lot of veteran starters and probably wouldn't care the day they traded them, it would be St. Louis. Now, one of them is Sonny Gray, who has a complete no trade clause and is not going to waive it to come back to the Yankees. Eric Fetty is a free agent at the end of the year who I doubt the Cardinals will re-sign. So the question is, between today and July 31st, Eric Fetty would be high up on my list if you were telling me make a list of people you think will be traded. Eric Fetty's probably a pretty good number 3, 4 kind of starter. He had a very good year coming back from Korea last year. And if he were on the Yankees today, like Hill, you'd feel like, okay, there's a guy they could send out every 5 days who has a chance to pitch 5 or 6 innings at a pretty decent level and give them a chance to win. So if Eric Fetty were actually available today, which I don't know if he is or he isn't, but if he is, again, do the Yankees go to the front of their line with their prospect group? That would be a guy. I don't think they'd be interested in Mayo Michaelis, who's making $18 million and is a free agent at the end of the year. The stuff probably doesn't play in the AL East, whatever. I'm going to throw out another name. It's a name that will probably make you gasp a little bit, but I wonder if Steven Matz would actually help them right now. Because Steven Matz, does he is he a good placeholder? Like the Cardinals would probably say, here he is, like to get the 12 million off their books. Maybe would they take Trent Grisham and make it 7 million off their books by taking the 5? I don't know. But like they've tried to trade him for like 2 years, maybe even longer than that. It seems like the day they signed him, they started trying to trade him, and they haven't. And there's a reason for that. He's been disappointing, but he does have good stuff. And the question is, could he fill in as like would you want to have him as the fifth starter, send Will Warren to the minors so you feel like you have some depth?
Mhm.
And the one thing that Matz has done well for the last 3 years is when he's been forced to the bullpen, he's been a good lefty out of the bullpen. So, like the day Hill comes back or the day you trade for someone else, Matz goes to the bullpen and you have some depth. But the question is, like, that's the kind of guy you might be able to get now. And is that a guy you believe every 5 days could give you 15 to 18 outs and 4 or fewer runs? I don't know. The answer is probably no, because if it was yes, he probably would have been traded before now.